Welcome back to the New Bold Oola Life channel. I'm your host, David Newbold, and today Ransom and I are talking about the Oola Wheel, tying together all the F's of Oola that we've covered in previous videos. Let's get into it.
Let's get bold.
So, as mentioned, I'm here today with Ransom and we're talking about the Oola Wheel. Now, until now, we've covered the 7 F's of Oola, but we covered them in an order outside of what the Oola guys cover. So our order was field, faith, fitness, family, finance, friends, and fun. And so these all can be done to be a wheel. And actually, I'm going to have Ransom explain what the Oola Wheel is.
Yeah, man, I'd be happy to. So here's the thing about it. We're talking about wheel. We're not talking about this. Not that kind of wheel. It's a little different. There is this amazing self-assessment tool that they have, that they began with. So there's 3 parts: wheel, plan, and path. But the wheel is where you begin with. And you take the 7 key areas of life, which David named, and then you take them and you chug them into this, what do you call it? Just really this, tool in order to ask yourself diagnostic questions to go through to see where you, as we say it, roll in the 7 key areas of life. So each one of those represents a spoke, like a spoke on a tire. And the thing about it is, you want to have an assessment and you want those areas to be as strong as possible. Because just think about it, a tire, you've got, we give ourselves a rating of 1 to 10. If you have a 1 in a particular area, it's like having a really short or weak spoke. Think about that. That's probably a better concept. A weak spoke. You got 10 in 3 areas. That's great. But if those spokes start breaking, or if you're only strong at 10 in 2 areas, you're going to roll pretty funky. It's not going to be like you ever seen those kids on a bike, or you've been on a bike where a tire went flat and you try to pedal? It's just so much work. Well, that's the idea, is to take it and make sure that those areas are as close as possible to a 10 as you can. Right. And then that way you will roll so much smoother, which translates rolling smoother than in life. Yep. I think that nails it pretty well as far as explaining the beginning half.
Yeah.
So, do you want to take?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
So, both Ransom and I have gone through Oolapalooza, and when I did Oolapalooza, I actually realized that my strongest areas are faith and field, and my weakest areas are finance and fitness. But actually all of them were nowhere close to a 10, so my wheel is actually kind of a little bit lopsided with faith and field being a little weak, and also it's a small wheel, so I need to expand and grow in each of those areas. But yeah, Ransom, how about you? Where's your weakest field? Weakest section, spoke.
You're gonna hit me? Oh, you pulled it out of me. You said field. Well, you've nailed it, because when I did this back in 2016, and I've got to show you this, because one of my first places was actually, we had a book and then we had a workbook that went with it when I did it. But this is what it looked like in the original book. So when you open it up, it has this thing that says workbook. And then as you do this, you turn the page and it explains the wheel, path, plan. You got this little wheel here kind of describing it. So it was a much different process than what you went through. It was very interesting, to say the least, but it's still effective. No matter how you do it, how you go about doing it, it really is. But for me, so yeah, we'll go with my weaknesses first. Thanks, brother. It was field, it was fitness, and it also was fun. So part of my story, I was an electrical contractor, so they didn't really leave a lot of time for fitness. We talked about that in my fitness story, that It literally dropped down. I was no longer pursuing being a model and actor, so it just didn't seem that importance. And then the field aspect, because I wasn't doing something I was designed to do. I was doing something that I thought I had to do to provide for my family. Now, I was very blessed to have that job. I was grateful to have it. Right. Don't let me tell you that way. I don't want anybody to be like, well, he's telling me you need to quit my job. No, not at all. Very, the ULA guy's very clear about this too. You spend time in your career till you can switch to what you're meant to do. You don't just drop it and leave it unless you and your spouse agree upon that. I will
Right.
reiterate that. And then fun. So fun was like way down here. It's electrical contracting. It just it kind of sucks. It's not fun. You're cutting yourself this. Like it's a labor of not necessarily joy. You do it because you love your clients,
Mm.
but it's not always the fulfilling thing. So that's what it was. But my strong suits, no, I want to talk about these. These are good. It was my family. It was my friends. It was my faith. It were those aspects of what it was that really helped me to make it through those period of time. Now the other one, is just kind of, it was not as high. So I would have to say too, in those areas that I was at my weakest, most of them I was probably like a 4.
Okay. And then for the strongest?
For the strongest, a lot of those were 7s or 8s.
Okay, so yeah, you had a pretty lopsided wheel rolling.
Not as small, but yeah, it was very lopsided. Yeah, I would have been that guy to be like, boom, boom, boom,
Yep.
and through.
Well, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
And so actually, we did these evaluations and kind of gauged where we're at so that we can gauge where our weaknesses are, where our strengths are, and work on the weakest areas. But you guys can actually do an evaluation as well. So on Oola's website, there's a link in the description down below. There's a free Oola Wheel that you can access and go through and kind of gauge. It's got 3 questions on there. You can gauge where you're at in each of these areas. But also, we just recently talked about the new app and the Year of Transformation program that's coming out, that came out. And so there's also links to that where you could sign up to be a member, and it will help you go through a much more detailed breakdown and help you work on each of those areas. So identify the areas that you're weakest in, and also help you come up with steps to strengthen those areas up. And then there's always the option as well to work with a coach, an Oola Life certified coach. And so there's links to all of these things.
For a second, like
Sure.
for me, starting off with Oola, or any personal development, I started back in 2016 with this when I was still an electrical contractor. So I had to get my mind prepared to be able to do greater things. So I needed a lot of personal development. But having something that was in the palm of my hand where I could actually access that, come into it, assess it, and it would keep me accountable on a daily basis is a good starting place for, it's really good even for the person, a veteran of personal development, and even those are the newbies. There's no one in between that phase or any place that it couldn't help. I would have appreciated that so much. Now I've moved on and now I have personal coaches, but I'm still going to use this. It's not going to be a this or that. For me, it's both.
Yeah. Using them in conjunction. Definitely. And so I'm mentioning these things. There are links in the description down below. The reason we mention these is because when watching videos, you can take nuggets away and it'll help, but these are actually tools that are designed much more in depth than we can go into in a simple video like this. And so that's why we've got the links down there that you can check out. But yeah, that was a cursory overview of what the Oola Wheel is. And that's all we're going for today. Thank you.
Yeah. One thing I will leave with this. When you're doing these assessments, no condemnation.
Right.
You need to do it and just realize the guys say this. They told me this the first time I ever heard this out of their mouth. It was like, wow, that's refreshing. Where you are is not who you are.
Yes.
But the question is this where you want to stay?
That's good.
That's the challenging question, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
if you don't want to stay there, we have a means to help you. What do you want to do?
So be real with where you are right now.
Right.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. All right. That's where we're going to close it today. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Amen. Bye for now.
And that's it this time. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to tap that like button, smash that subscribe button, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. We'll be back next week with more Oola Insights, so be sure to check it out. And until next time, remember to seek new challenges, make bold choices, and keep it balanced. Cheers!